Mm, 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 mm. You know how to rap?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to hop on the beat if you did. Mm, 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 mm,
I
mm.
wish. I'd be so filthy.
Literally, if there was one thing, I don't know, because it's like if I had to choose between rapping, singing, and being able to dance,
Dance. No, sing. Sing.
I don't know.
Let me sing. No, I'm
Yeah.
glad I can't do that. I can't rap or sing because if I'm in the middle of my DJ set, I will. All right, y'all. Here's my new single. Y'all go hear. Y'all gonna hear these bars, or y'all gonna hear these melodies. One of the two. Y'all getting them.
Listen,
Two.
I already think no, I don't think I can sing. I just like to sing.
Yeah.
I know I can't, but I like that I think that I can just at least hold.
Post something in the song.
Yeah. I'm not signing up for nobody's nothing. If we do karaoke, I'm still gonna feel some type of way.
Yeah, I feel
But
you.
like dancing, I blame the white church for that.
The way you dance.
Just it just sucked the rhythm right on out, right on out my body. And it sucks and I'm sad about it. But what do you do?
Hear you.
Yeah. But if I could rap, you couldn't tell me nothing. I would argue and rap. You're sitting here trying to tell me
The
what you
bars. Are you sending bars?
I would coach and rap. Like I would do if I could rap, I'd do everything. And I could rap.
No,
You're not
imagine
seeing me.
sending bars at your girl though. Like, bro, that would be crazy.
Look, that's because I got game though. So I feel like that's kind of the same. Actually, I don't even know if I have game anymore. It's whatever. That's another topic for another day. Hello. Shout
Yeah.
out episode 3. You know what I'm saying? Your
Dang.
favorite everything's at this point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your girl, Coach Rees.
DJ Sham in the building.
Yo, so y'all, we need to do something like, it would be fire what we could do,
What?
like in the future, is we could create an NFT. This is game. So somebody, pen and paper, could create an NFT, sell the wine and vibe NFT, right? And then cats can get access to the pre-show or the after show. But you have to have an NFT because NFTs are connected to experiences. So it's like, yo, I got the wine and vibes NFT. Boom. What does that get me? That gets you invited to the pre-show where we get real or the post show or the live in person show, and then so many other things. And you might get some merch every now and then.
So how many NFTs will we have? Because it's one NFT per person.
Well, we can mint a certain amount. So like let's say we minted 50. Yeah. So, right, we got, you know what I'm saying? We got our listeners on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Facebook, and we can mint a certain amount of 50. So the first 50 that gets them, they can say, I got the first wine and vibes, whatever. This is what it gets you. And so now not only are they able to invest, but they get connected to experiences. And then it can be like, let's say, now you guys is in on the brainstorming session, but so let's say they got one.
This is the pre-show. This is the pre-show example.
This is example right here where we just brainstorm off the dome, but they get access to you and you DJ a party because they got the wine and vibes, you know what I'm saying, like NFT. And so now you come out, you DJ a party, and or they get a coaching session with me. So that's the experience they get through getting the NFT and being a part of the wine and vibes community.
Boom. Mic drop. Wine drop.
Don't, I bet you I could dance but don't spill it. Listen,
man, how's your week though? How's it going?
Oh, it's hard.
Week.
Yeah, I did a lot of I didn't take a break. I didn't have a break this week, and I tried to take a break on Sunday. I didn't have my bath. Last week I cabbage patched. I didn't have it on Sunday. I didn't get it. And I felt it like I didn't have a day of rest. And not necessarily that it has to be Sunday. There just wasn't a day of rest between really, end to end. And that doesn't work when you get up here and you go to sleep here and then you try to repeat that process. So today I was like, yeah, that's not okay. Because all it does is pour into the next week, and the next couple days are impacted by how I spent the last couple days of last week. So I'm gonna finish the week strong, finish the month strong, and then take all this research that I got from January and pour it into February and go from there. How about you?
Good. Got my therapy session in this week, so feeling lighter mentally, emotionally. So it's nice to be able to have that on a Tuesday, going to hump day, finish the week, feeling like you got more energy, you got more capacity than what you had. So yeah, it was nice to have that in, and the gym. So yeah, I'm feeling good, man. Good. Week's going good.
Great. What's today? So you worked out 3 days in a row?
2 days so far. Monday. Yeah, 2 days.
Okay. Shout out to that.
Monday was Costco day.
I'm actually proud of myself.
I went to Costco for these the pre-made rice packs, pop in the microwave, boom. I love those. Some fruit, and I spent $300. So. I was like, yeah, okay. You won.
What did you get?
Man, I got these new chicken patties that they have. Really good. I got some more like spinach artichoke dip. I got some meats, like just to have in the freezer. I couldn't even tell you because it was stuff I didn't need, so I can't even remember what I got. I just literally walked down every aisle. I know that.
Costco feels incomplete if you don't. It's not
you might miss something.
Yes, I missed out on a deal. And for me, I think I mentioned this last week, but like I'm at that point in my life where going to Costco was like, ooh, it's like a reward, right? And so I didn't go this week because I just had other stuff to do. And I didn't rest, but I also was like, you don't need to go. Like it was almost kind of my mission to not go to Costco this week, because it's like, okay, cool. If I just go to Costco like once a week, but if you go to Costco once a week and spend $100, that's $400 a month. and so I'm like, okay, boom. But you know what I'll say though, and this is like something that I noticed that I need, and I think this connects to our topic today, is like, it feels good having food in the house. Now, I've never been without food, so that's not necessarily what I'm connecting it to, but like as an adult, it feels good to be like, I want, and I don't have to go out and buy it. I wanted some breakfast tacos a minute ago. I just was feeling like I needed something to make me happy. So I went to the Nespresso, made me a little cappuccino. And then I was like, I want breakfast tacos. And I just happened to have all the ingredients already and like kind of already like meal prepped. And that felt good. To be able to just do that. And I just want to thank Costco for being able to provide me with all the meat that I can get.
Shout out to Costco, babe. No, but it does feel good, because that's where I find myself, like, where I'll be quick to be like, I'm just going to Uber Eats something. I'm going to Uber Eats lunch, or I'm going to, like, because I'll have things, but I don't have everything I want, to where I know it's going to be like, this is going to be good. Right. Yep. So yeah, definitely shout out to Costco, man. Definitely.
So what are you drinking tonight before we even get into this? What you drinking?
Oh, I got wine from Costco. That's what I got.
What is
see it? It is
Red Blend Portugal.
Yeah, Red Blend Portugal by Casa Santos. And it was Costco, like Mexican $4. It was on sale. It was $4. Okay. And it's cute. I like it.
See, look, here's what's funny is the end of Sunday night comes, and because I didn't go to Costco, I was like, I don't have no wine for the show. Oh my gosh. What am I going to drink? and so I went to I had to go to Target so I can get some caramel for my Nespresso drinks because I was determined to do that. And I was like, let me just get a bottle of whatever here. And I ended up getting some Black Girl Magic.
Ooh, okay.
Rosé.
Okay.
And because I was like, so actually I have some sad news. Here's this. We might have to change the show to apple cider and vibes.
No. Why? What?
Here's why. I was I think it was maybe Thursday, finishing the bottle from last episode and our Friday, whatever. And I'm talking to Grams and she's like, what you drinking? And I was like, some wine. And she said, how much wine do you drink? Like about a bottle a week.
Judgy much.
Oh, way too much. And I was like, about a bottle a week. And I was like, wow, is that a much? I drink a bottle a week. I was like, that's not a lot. Because in a wine glass, it's like our wine bottles maybe like 2-3 cups. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She was like, well, you better slow down. You're gonna have a problem. I was like, okay, I know I'm predisposed and I have a addictive personality, but I don't need you coming through. I said, you about to make me have to talk about you on my podcast. And she was like, I don't care. So, so I was like, anyways, and she just was like, you better slow down. So I said, okay, well, let me tell Sham, we don't have to change this to apple cider. She's like, drink some apple cider instead.
I'll drink the wine. You can have the cider, girl.
I'm grown.
I
can handle it. I can handle my wine. So shout out to your Portuguese.
Yes, shout out to the Portugal red blend. At first I thought it said Casamigos. I was like, oh, Casamigos got a wine. Yeah, no, Casa Santos for $4.
Listen, if it's good, you already know what to do next time and get 3 bottles. Hey, I hope this don't crack though like a Sprite. It did. You hear it?
Yeah. Hella loud, which is soda.
I would have got a real bottle, but it was more than what I wanted to spend. So Black Girl Magic, sponsor us. You will be hashtagged in this upload.
Absolutely. That'd be dope.
Man. Okay. So we got to, did you pour up already?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like it?
It's cool. It's like I can't really be judgmental with $4 wine. So it's like I feel it's not nasty. So I'm not tripping. I'm like, this is cool.
Okay. Well, shout out. And it's a red blend, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, here we go. Let's toast up to this. And we also toast into the life and legacy today. Today marks year 2 of the anniversary of Sir Kobe Bryant. So I had to make sure I rocked the Mamba.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculously way too soon and just too soon. And it just doesn't even make any sense, right? Mm-hmm. When you think about, I think it's crazy because I think about it, how we passed, and just if you put yourself in that moment and think about how he and the other parents must have been in the helicopter, and you're looking at your kids and you're like
knowing like I can't protect you. I can't, like and I think the craziest part is like in RIP and cheers, we're not celebrating, but recognizing the other people that were involved in the crash too. I don't want to not mention them as well, but like knowing how excited everyone was to actually see Kobe Bryant outside of basketball and what he does and what his life was going to be. And we see him getting involved with Gigi's basketball and like just being able to see him in like parent mode and like what that Kobe looked like so that we could utilize that version of him as well. So not being able to see that as you like kind of grew up, just him being our idol in the basketball realm kind of sucks, especially being adults now. Like, man, I want to see how Kobe's handling actual life and kids.
Yeah. Cause that's a good point. Shout out to you for recognizing everybody else. Cause that is extremely disrespectful in the big narrative, right? Like so many other people were impacted by that same crash, but because he's Kobe, right, there's that piece. So I appreciate you saying that part. The thing is too, is like, he was so much more accessible. Like I was convinced that I was going to work with this dude.
Yeah.
Convinced. Like literally knew, like I knew
where people be like, yeah.
Like I knew the avenues, the boom, hitting up his this. I listened to his Punies podcast. Like he has the Punies in it, like because he's a storyteller in it. And I just was like, I was in love, am in love with the other Kobe, right? Like not the other Kobe, the other pieces and parts of Kobe, right? We'll get into that a little bit too. Because like he just, he was a hooper and did his thing. But there was that other aspect. And what's so funny is, so I'm wearing a knockoff baseball jersey from Amazon.
Oh, word? Okay, come through. Amazon, come through.
Because I don't have one of his real jerseys. Reason being, two reasons. Well, one, my first one got stolen, but the other one is when he passed, my first thought process was to buy the rest of his books. I didn't even think. I was like, Amazon, children's series. And then I was like, why did I not buy? Because I like found out like right soon enough. And obviously it's not about that piece, but you want to be able to like remember, right? Have some piece of memories of something. And man,
it's selling out and people trying to capitalize and hike up prices. And
yeah, man. And I already had 3 of them. I bought the other 2. I was like, get the books. Not the jersey, not the shoes.
That's you though. We know you're gonna read 99 books a year, and that needs to be in your collection. So I'm not surprised you got the books.
Yeah, have you seen his books in person?
Not in person, no.
Oh my gosh. And again, like the detail, there's it's just, I'll have to show you one day, but they're amazing.
Fire.
There's not, it's like his books are equivalent to him hitting 60 plus points in a game.
Oh,
the
damn.
way the design, the fabric, the detail of it, just that's my guy. And I can't imagine, what that must have been like for Vanessa, and the rest of his daughters, and obviously the rest of the families, to find out the way that they found out.
And the freaking police officers taking crime scene photos and selling them shits to team, like, bro.
Like, how do you even
disgusting
stomach that? Like for yourself, just that sucks. So shout out to him, shout out to Gigi, shout out to, I don't want to butcher the rest of the names, but the rest of the families that are impacted. In year 2, it still don't seem real, right? Like we know what it feels like to have somebody pass. In just year 2, you're still trying to figure out how to walk. But I will say this before we move on, is I have absolutely loved watching Sierra, Lala, and somebody else, the way that they've like
embraced her and just
embraced Vanessa. Like, it has just been so beautiful to watch them befriend her and like live. Nope, we got you. And that has been, to me, from watching women do that from a friendship stance, that's been just one of the dopest things ever, just to witness. Like, okay, obviously we knew she wasn't going to be, alone. She had people, but to see, right? And I think that that's a dope thing for people to like look at, like be there for your friend, regardless of the state. Hold them down. That obviously holidays are going to be difficult, but just life in general is going to be difficult. So
and do normal things with them. Don't only come around on the holidays. Don't like they're still a normal person. They still want to be invited and do X, Y, and Z. Like, I thought that was really dope. It was dope to be able to see that.
Yeah. The thing too, and I don't want to dive too deep into the friendship piece, but it's like, you have to be there before tragedy happens. Like, I think that's a big deal, that like, it's like me and you not having a relationship, and I see you, post something on Facebook or IG, and it's like, let me know if you ever need to talk. If I have to write a post, a comment, let me know if you ever want to talk. You ain't never gonna want to talk to me because we already don't have a friendship, or not even a friendship, a relationship. And I think that that's like, I just don't, I'm not a fan of let me know if you ever, because I'm gonna let whoever know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
That made me think of like, when there is someone that you used to be cool with, or you are just cool casual, we're not really a friend, but if they're like, hey, how are you doing? It's like, I'm cool, because I'm not gonna really tell you how I'm doing. It's like when you just think of simple things like that, it's like, I'm really not gonna tell you how I'm really doing. My world could be crumbling right now, but yeah, I'm cool. It's like, hey, how are you? It's just, I always think about something so subtle. Like, what if someone I really didn't rock with, but I seen, and it's awkward, and I'm trying to make small talk, and I'm like, how are you? And they're really just like, they just lay it on me. It's like, I wasn't really ready for that, but
Okay, so I am never going to advocate for the devil because he be on his own stuff. But what if they remembered, what if you're a genuine person, right? So what if they're like, wow, Sham's genuine, and she asked, and I think I really need to get this off, because like, what if? Because I feel like that could happen to you, because you're like, you're warm.
Thank you.
You're a warm, embracing person. So if you're like, how you doing? If you ask me, I'm but obviously, like, we're there. But I think here's the thing that I hate, though. I used to hate, especially working in higher education. It just felt super, I hate this conversation. Hi, how are you? Good, good. How are you? Good, good. Like, how are you gonna ask me how I'm doing this way? And so people would say it, and I wouldn't even respond.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you think I'm mean, because you're still walking that direction.
You don't care how I'm doing.
You don't care how I'm doing if you're still walking that way. And so there's no point. But if you want to stop and really ask and check in, I'll have the conversation. But if you don't keep going, and here's what sucks, is it's like, are we too busy to be good people?
I think both can be true. You can still be a good person and be busy.
Absolutely right. So let me reframe that. Are we too good to really be there for people is probably what I meant to say.
We too good to really be there for people. That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like people assume, and it goes back to social media as well. Like, oh yeah, I just seen them post the other day with their kids. They out and they good. They're good. I ain't gonna really stop and really talk to them because I just seen the post. Like it. So I hate that so much.
It makes me think of another one that I definitely want to give and obviously at no point will I think that she'll watch this, but again, this ties into our topic, but Regina King's son just died by suicide. Right? And it's like, he was 26, just turned 26 a couple days before. Yeah. And actively posting and things like that. And obviously I don't know him from anybody else, but that's one of many people, right? Like, who we see, not obviously him, but we see people every single day. And I think for me, it's like, I try to obviously check myself. Like, I'm not going to ask you, how are you, if I really don't want to know, or don't even have the space. Cause then I'm like, on myself. But it goes back to me being like, glad that Vanessa really had peoples. And I believe that they were there before, which allowed them to be there in the midst, right? And after, and then from then on. But I think it's tough. I think that it is, and could be why people start having smaller circles. I only got to check in on 3 people. Cool.
No, for real. It becomes a lot, especially like at times I'll make excuses when people don't check in or I don't talk to them often. I'm like, people got kids, they got families, they got kids, got sports, kids got homework, kids got birthday party, like I leave a lot of grace, because as you get older, it's like, I'm spent. Like, if you were to hit me to check in, I don't even know what I could give to you. So I feel like I'm able to extend a lot of grace in that regard. Now it gets to a point where it's like, all right, now, like we need to tap in at some point, but
yeah,
for the most part, it's easy to give that grace, but you know who's in your circle, regardless of, you know, the amount of time you're talking.
yeah. So what about the saying, check on your strong friend?
Yeah.
What's your thought process there?
I don't think there should have to be a check on your strong friend. If they're your friend, regardless, it should be mutual, right? Like I should not be caring about what's going on in your life just because I know you're strong and you handle stress or whatever well. It still is important to me. And I want you to know it's important to me. I think the strong friend became, I don't know, because I feel like when I have a strong friend and it's easy for me to dump on them without even asking if they're in a space to receive that. But then I also make sure when it's vice versa that I'm extremely available for them. When they need that, right? If it's little, if it's big, like I try to make sure that I have that capacity and create that space for them to be able to get that off whenever they're in that position.
Yeah. So here's my other question to that is, if we have a strong friend, does that make me the weak friend? So now it's like, and sometimes that strong friend is a strong facade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so if we take away strong and we take away weak and just say, check on your friend.
Yeah.
Period. Check on your friend. Because like we talked about this, I think on the first episode, like, are we friends and why is it even check on? Like, being there doesn't have to mean texting every day either, right? Like, I think, like you just said, as we get older, people start to have different things, like friends, married, this, that, all this, like life, building businesses, blah, but I found more now, like I need people and I'm tapping in with people more, but I'm also trying to verbalize more what I need.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm saying, oh, this don't feel good when I'm in this state. Hey, so-and-so, I need you to be this for me. Can you do that? Do you have space to provide me with that? Because if not, just let me know so I can go whatever. But I don't think that we should put labels on what kind of friend a human is, because then if I'm the strong friend, what if I feel like I now have to live up to your expectation of me being the strong friend? Now I can never tap in with you because I'm the strong friend, and now I can never show you that I got feelings, and I'm stressing out too.
Yeah. Preach, Rees. You talking right now, girl. I see you. For real. For real. No, that's real shit. That's real. And I never looked at it that way, because when I've been in a position where I've been like, oh, I should check on so-and-so, I've never felt like they were the strong friend. I felt like they were better equipped to handle things that I wasn't, right? Like I feel like they had more experience in certain areas. So I don't think you're a stronger friend than me, but I think, hey, I feel like I can lean into you more in this situation than you'd probably be able to lean into me, or I'd be able to handle it on my own. So let me tap in with you and get some insight or vent and get some feedback. I think it's okay to have friends that are well versed or, you know, experienced in other areas that you can go to and not have to necessarily be considered your strong friend.
100%. So 2 things. One, for comedic relief, whenever I say my R's and W's together, it's a bad deal.
Tongue twister. Then you involve some wine. It's like, oh,
you have some friends. Look, you have some friends who are well-rounded. Like, what the hell? Yeah, one time I was praying after practice, And I was like, because we had a game, Christian school, we prayed after practice, and it was like, all right, Jesus, I pray that we come back well wested tomorrow. Never doing that again. um, but I think, isn't that just friendship though? Like you got stuff that I don't got. I got stuff that you don't got. Like, and I think that's also iron sharpens iron and friendship. Period. Like I don't think that we should, everybody in our circle shouldn't think the exact same way as us. Right? Like, and there should be a level, I think, of challenge, growth, but also comfort and warmth. Like that's where the familiarity comes into play of like, and that's why we're friends. Because if we always beef, we're not friends. But we have things that are in common. We have comfort, we have warmth. And then there's also, hey, help me here, help me there. And I think especially as we've gotten older, because we've lived more life. And so everybody in your circle, I think, like, this is why I remember back in high school, I don't know what movie it was, and the girl was beefing because like her best friend had more than one best friend. And I was like, I have more than one best friend. Like you should have more than one best friend. I think that that's okay to have more than one best friend, because then when that one best friend, because they shouldn't meet all your needs, right? At the same time, I don't think so. But again, conversation, just having dialogue, communicate.
Yeah. I agree, man. I agree. You spitting.
Listen, best friend jealousy is real.
Bruh. It is. It absolutely is. It's yeah. And if your best friend goes to someone else with a problem or dilemma they have and they didn't come to you, it's like, ooh, was I not good enough? Am I not?
How did you find out? How did you find out?
The other best friend.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. It's like, ooh, this is war.
That's like,
you're throwing this in my face.
So now you're better than me because she told you, and then exactly. Now you ask the other one. So like, why did you tell her? She just was available, and you're always busy. Oh, so now you're coming for me because I got 5 jobs. I'm out here trying to have 7 streams of income, and now you can't tell me. So now I'm not a good friend, and we're not best friends anymore. And she did. Listen,
girl, it can go there. It can go there for real.
That sounds like an Insecure episode.
It does. It absolutely does. I'm pretty sure Issa and Molly, that whole dynamic.
Yes, I love Issa. She's just the awkward Black girl. Like, I am her, she is me.
Yep.
I embrace it. Except, and we kind of have to remember when she had the little fro when she was chubby. I had that too.
Yes, you did have that. You did have that. You had a lot of styles. You had a lot of hairstyles.
I know, it's crazy. It just goes with the seasons. I remember one time somebody hit me up. Sam hit me up and she was like, "What are you dating now, men or women?" Like, oh. Check my post.
Check her hairstyle.
And so, did I have a lineup or what?
Yeah, for real.
Don't get it twisted. I wore a lineup with the pencil skirt. So,
I know niggas was looking at you like, I don't even know. Know.
It's check on your bi friend. That's not your strong friend. Check on your bi friend.
For real.
You're not okay. Okay, so the song we done skipped levels. What's the song for the week, man?
We're not playing it this week, right?
We're not playing it because the copyright issues. They got it.
So the song this week is What It Is by Amber Mark. It's a single on her upcoming album. I think it comes out this Friday. It's what is it? 3 Dimensions Deep. That's the name of the album. It's pretty fire. Have you ever listened to she kind of sounds like, have you ever listened to Cleo Soul?
I know Cleo from Set It Off.
Okay, Negro. But it's a cool vibe. It's definitely super chill. I like it. I got put on tour last month, so I was pretty excited to see that she had an album coming out. So I definitely checked out. She had another single on there. It's really good too. So it'll be on the playlist. Definitely check it out. Yeah, and step up to it.
Somebody said they can't hear us.
Can't hear it.
You can't hear who? Thanks. Shout out to the community. They can't, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Minor intermission. It was Bree, so I don't know if she texts you or.
I'm about to hit her now.
Okay. Well, it's all due up. Okay, maybe it was just you, Bree. It was just you. We appreciate you though for being here every week. Thank you for letting us know. What was I going to say though? So I wanted to give a quick recap. We talked about last week briefly. Finish the song piece. So it's on the
No, that's it. This album's coming out Friday.
Mm-hmm.
What it is, Amber Mark is gonna be on the playlist. Check it out.
Okay. Is she bald with like blonde hair?
No.
Oh, okay.
You thinking Amber Rose?
It's all maybe. Got it. Okay. So not Amber Rose. Well, I have to check it out because I'd definitely be rocking out to the I'd be like, hey Siri. She'd be don't go off.
Wine and Vibes.
Yes, Wine and Vibes. Go ahead and play it.
I put a couple extra songs on there too that I was gonna share this week and I couldn't make my mind up. So there's a couple of extra gems I threw on there as a freebie.
Word. Make sure y'all show DJ ShamWow some love because she's clearly out here getting it and keeping y'all on the vibe tip for free. Hit up her Cash App. We ain't mad at it. Drop some dollars in a tip jar. You dig?
Appreciate y'all.
So I wanted to run down real quick because we have some I love the love about the players, right? And so I wanted to come through and just give like a quick synopsis of to give people more of a framework and idea and hopefully clear some things up, right? So when I talk about obviously my background and I am a coach, right? So everything that that rosé. Everything that I think about comes through my coaches and leadership framework. And I really just think basketball in general replicates life. That just is it. So I was in therapy and we started talking about parts work. And parts work in and of itself is basically how the players for me was developed off of that framework. Parts work started by this white dude named Rich something, and it's a trauma-based informed therapy technique. So if you're somebody who's like, I want to learn more about how to heal from certain types of trauma, that ain't me, that's your therapist. If you're like, I want to figure out how to grow and gain confidence in all these other areas, that is me, right? The confidence coach piece. So there's two different levels to it. So when you think about the trauma-based informed, that's where you have the internal family systems. And so in there's three different types of, I'll say, players. You have exile players, you have managers, you have firefighters. Exile players, that's where your people pleaser will come out of. And so the framework behind this is, as we go through life and we experience trauma, there are certain identities, players, personalities that are born within us, right? They develop within us, right? You're like, ooh, how did that get there? It developed through situations that you went through in life. That's where the people pleaser comes from. So there's certain levels of this that is trauma-based specifically. Okay. So exile is all of those things. The managers are the players on your team who try to suppress the exile players, right? So you might try to really try to be there for somebody to suppress the people pleaser, right? You might really try to succeed. You might really try to get off in life in certain ways to kind of cover up for these traumas that happen in your life that you don't even want to talk about, think about, anything like that, bad experiences, all of that, right? This is why this is that portion of it is therapy specific, because you got to get that worked out, right? And really healing that relationship with trauma. And then the firefighters help put out all of that. So that's that piece of the framework, is that portion is trauma-based specific. The way that I leveled it up, is from a confidence-based building aspect, where I call it ICPR, right? And that's intrapersonal coach-player relations. Okay, so ICPR, intrapersonal coach-player relations. And the way that I talk about it is there are 4 different players on this team in this way, right? So you have your other 3, but then there's 4 other types. You have your vets. Your vets is they've been with you since day one. And that is the cats who are attached to your purpose. They were born with you day one. So those are like your gifts, your skills, your talents, like all of those things. Those are the vets. They're a part of your team, right? Then you have the captains. The captains are like your strengths. So if I have the gift of gab, one of my captains is my ability to focus, right? So one way to identify what your captains are is maybe taking a strengths assessment. So some of my captains on my team are focus, responsibility, individualization, discipline, things like that. Those are things that I can say, yo, I need to execute and get this done, right? Though I may have the gift of gab, if I don't have focus, it don't matter, right? So that's where I need those 2 types of players to come together to help me execute, right? I may have a vision as a leader, but if I don't focus and be disciplined, it doesn't matter, right? So that's where I have the vets and you have your captains. Next, you have your franchise players, okay? Your franchise players are the players that like represent your brand. This is how the world sees you. You see it through this lens. Like that's everything that represents your brand. So your character, a little bit of your personality, your values, right? Your integrity, like that kind of deal. This is what sets you up for you to be you. And obviously that can shift and change depending on what you want it to be, right? Franchise players flop, or franchise players flourish. It really just depends, on you, what your morals and values are. And then the last one is role players. This is where the foodie comes in, right? The foodie is a role player, right? Some of your hobbies and things might be role players, right? They play their role really well. And sometimes role players be trying to be franchise players. And you're like, what are you doing? That's not, right? So that's where we get into, a problem. Or franchise player or role players try to be captains. It's like, stay in your lane. So that's basically the breakdown of that. And if anybody wants to chop it up about how to be able to grow in conversation and heal, some of those areas, let me know. But I want to make sure I cleared that up for y'all, for anybody who's trying to gain some more clarity on that.
For sure, man. A lot of people hit me up wanting to identify their players. So I'm glad that you covered that and what all the details of that looks like. But yeah, man, hit Rees up, take that strength finders assessment, man, and it's good. It's definitely good. And the way you go in detail about it, and I was looking at them a completely different way, but when we would go over my strengths, I'm like, oh, that is good. Okay. That is, it's definitely super helpful. And it's nice being able to identify what my feelings are, or what players showing up in certain situations. So definitely tap in, Coach Rees, identify your players.
The last thing I'll say is nobody on your team has ill intent. So whether they were birthed out of trauma, or they were birthed out of purpose, or they were birthed out of like you developing them intentionally, none of them have ill intent to be able to harm you, right? They were the traumas and stuff, they were there to protect you, right? And then obviously the confidence building ones are there to help give you confidence. But you as the coach have to be able to have that, know how to have conversation, know how to have that relationship, that interpersonal, conversation, to be able to lead yourself ultimately to get more wins, right? That's the whole point. So, all
right, we to the topic now.
We in here.
All right, head game strong. I know a lot of people might be wondering what the hell we was about to be talking about today. You got 1.5 lesbians.
I already.
Oh man, no, but today we are going to be talking about the mental piece, right? Mental health, and really just diving into what that looks like, what's going on in this world, and popular topics around Antonio Brown and his mental health, and just mental health in general, and getting our head right. So that is what we will be discussing.
But
so
we've already been discussing, really.
Yes, yeah, actually, we've kind of been in it this whole time. Were you able to kind of see the clips of the Antonio Brown situation? Let's just start there.
Whew. Yeah, I saw the clip where he took his stuff off and ran off. And then what sucks is, my heart, somebody like made a meme out of it, of just something like kind of just, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of disrespecting him and the situation. It's like, clearly, right, there's something going on here. And then I didn't watch the whole I Am Athlete.
I didn't get to the very, very end, but I got a little over an hour in.
Okay. Yeah. I watched the one clip that I had sent you about it and was like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me your thoughts.
I don't know, man. It's tough. Initially watching it, I'm like, bro needs help. He needs an OG to just wrap their arm around him and just be there for him. Let him know what's okay, what's not okay. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a business, right? Like, you still have to be professional. And just from a blind eye watching it, it's like, bruh's fucked up in the head. Like, he's weird, he's off. You don't do that. That's not a normal reaction. But after listening to the pod with I Am Athlete, he was like, the coach said go in. I told him I couldn't. He knew my ankle was fucked up, and was like, you're done. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't know. I don't think I would have responded to that magnitude, but ain't no way in hell I'm about to just sit on the sidelines like, like, no. I'm out of here. Like, fuck it. I was here to win a championship, and if that ain't what you're about to allow me to be a part of, what am I sitting here for?
So clear it up. He wanted to go into the game. Like, what happened?
He says that he sent the coach a text letting him know, hey, my ankle's still fucked up. And the coach was like, we still want you there. We want to play you as much as you can go. Like, whatever you can provide and produce, that's what we need from you. So you're coming to the game. Okay. Yep, say no more. He came out of the game because his ankle was bothering him, and he said, coach, I can't go anymore. Okay. Like, get the F out of here. You're done. Okay. So he took it like, fuck it, man. Like, you didn't even want me here anyway. This is what he was expressing that I caught. You didn't even want me here anyway. Tom Brady wanted me here. You're really not for me. You don't give a damn about my injury. I'm out of here. Fuck it. Okay. Yep. So I cut him at the press conference. He cut him on live television at the press conference after the game.
Oh, so what did he say?
He's no longer a part of this organization.
So that's how he found out. Okay. So I think there's like multiple pieces, and this is me not only knowing certain pieces from what I saw from the clip, even how he explained it. And at first I was like, oh, cool, he's on I Am Athlete. Brandon B. Marsh is big on talking about mental health. Brandon open about his bipolar. Right. So Brandon's big. So I was like, cool. I was excited that they was about to have this convo. But even from the clip that I saw, he was like, there's nothing wrong with me. And I think that that's where, and again, obviously I don't know, bro. We don't know, bro. But it's like, there's a negative stigma, wrong usually means bad. It's connected to like negativity. Where if you have something wrong with you mentally, if you're experiencing a mental illness, why, or is it, I don't know if it's right to say there's something or not something wrong, right? Like, I feel like if I think about kids, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing, like, it's attached to fear. So it doesn't allow you to just be like, it's not wrong. It's just something in your brain is not operating to its highest potential, to the best way that it could be, and not necessarily like wrong, you're bad, you're not, you're malfunctioning, right? Like, And so I think because of those kind of stigmas, it keeps people, especially Black and brown folk, from getting the help and attention that they need to service those things. Because like you said, you don't think that you would have responded in this way, right? And when we think about, like, anger is a secondary emotion, and a lot of times people who experience depression, they end up experiencing anger, right? And I'm not saying that this is his thing, but we're talking about, right, like, keep your head game strong is in what I hate. Honestly, I have this conversation with God, like, bruh, why do people have to experience depression? Like, they never, like, that joint sucks. And I hate that people have to experience that, especially when nobody asked for it. So it literally, like, and then when to see somebody experience something mentally that they didn't, and you don't understand it because your brain just isn't able to create the chemicals that it needs to be able to whether experience happiness or all the other emotions, or to be able to control their emotions, to not respond.
Even identify that you're depressed, right? A lot of times people don't even realize that I'm in a depressed state. Like,
yeah,
they're angry, they're showing out with anger, they're snappy, they're, you know what I mean? Like, they're not able to identify, like, actually, no, I'm depressed. This is something that needs to be addressed. I'm reacting this, and this, like, it's not how I normally would respond. But it usually takes situations like reactions like that for someone to be able to get down to the root of, no, I'm actually depressed. Like, there's more going on. And this was just the cherry on top.
So, but how do I address that? How do I say, hey, I'm depressed? How do I say, and here's the thing too, is where is it that you can tell somebody that they're not depressed or experiencing bouts of depression or extremely just sad and frustrated with life versus a therapist or a psychologist diagnosing them with depression, bipolar type 2 depression, bipolar and right? Like, certain things need to be clinically.
Yeah.
And then if you're not going to get serviced or checked or, have these conversations, and I think this is where it sucks. So we've just labeled people as crazy and weird, and so, or wrong. And then they never end up getting the actual help that they need to be able to. And then when I say help, I just mean, right, assistance, tools, things like that to assist them in being able to navigate what's going on.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, if there is something wrong, if there is something, if his brain is not able to optimize in the way that it needs to, there's still another insecurity, I would say, that's showing up for him, that's preventing him from even being able to position himself to say, yeah, you're right, I need help, I need assistance. Because that takes something, that's the strong friend who can admit, I need assistance, right? I think if we're going to go back to not necessarily strong and weak, but
that's a good point.
It takes courage. It takes courage to say, I need help me so I don't throw it all away.
So how would you have responded in that situation?
I can't say, because you know what? I have
smack the fuck out of that coach. I'm like, okay. What? I done told you before I done got on this plane with this team. Before I got on this plane, I told you my ankle was jacked up. Okay, it's okay. We'll play what you can, play what you can do, what you can do. I come out for the betterment of the team, right? Because I want the team to win. It's at the end of the day, it's for us to get the win. I'm out there and I feel like I'm gonna hurt us getting to that end goal. And you tell me that I'm done and to get the F out of here. And then you go and do a press conference and, bruh, I'd be out in front of that plane waiting for you.
Was the coach white?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously my brain.
KFC guy. The little KFC guy with the mustache.
He looks like KFC?
He looks like the guy to me.
He's Kentucky. Okay.
But I'm trying to give you a visual, but
yeah. Got you. Okay. I just think my mind automatically goes to sports is a microcosm of the world, or we'll just say even just our nation, and or how the world operates, and our world operates based off of racism, right? Like, so and there's so much behind, especially football, football and basketball, right? And those are predominantly dominated by Black and brown folk, whether that be the college or professional levels.
Yeah.
We're like over 50% of it. And then who are the leaders and all that stuff, the coaches and all that. And so I think that the behavior from a white coach operating like that towards a Black athlete is natural for him. The reason why it's natural is because it's within his DNA to be able to talk to authoritative position. So for me to say anything that I want to, however I want, that's not abnormal. My aunt, like, I've been right over you, boy. Like that's just a part of it. And it's obviously a part of football culture because it's connected to slavery. It's modern day slavery in a different way. So it doesn't surprise me, but I wanted to confirm that the coach was white, for him to be able to talk like that and feel like he has the authority, and he just can. And so, how I would respond, I mean, it depends on a whole lot of things. It depends on,
there's a lot of variables. I mean, he was, they talked about him like hella close to getting his bonus if he would have stayed in the game. And they were talking about how maybe it was the coach that kept him out of the game so that he wouldn't hit his bonus. Then the coach lied in the press conference and said that AB never told him that he was injured. So it was a lot. I feel like it's just thinking about his track record with other teams. I feel like he was probably a detriment to the team. And with him being that star athlete that he is, if I'm putting up with you from week 1 to week 10, 11, whatever week they're in now in the football season, if I've been putting up with you being a cancer to this team the whole time, even though with as good of an athlete as you are, and we're trying to get to the Super Bowl and we're in playoffs now, and you want to tell me you can't play, maybe his anger that he has pent up towards his player, because he didn't want him on the team, the quarterback did. Anger that I have towards you, knowing that you could really help us get to the Super Bowl, get the fuck out of here. You're pretty much, you've been a cancer to this team. You don't want to play. I don't want to see you, really. Just go.
So here's 2 parts for our listeners, right? Because some of our may not watch. I don't even watch football, but what you're saying, I think, can connect to anybody.
Yeah.
One, you just talked about the relationship between a coach and a franchise player. Right now, we're going back to ICPR, right?
Yep.
Because your franchise player, whether that be your character, your values, your morals, all those things, your integrity. So maybe it's like, if they don't have the freedom to operate the way they need to, right? They're suppressed. So that could be that maybe bouts of CTE that he was experiencing, depression, who knows what, prevented him from being able to act the way that he wanted. But you also said this was on brand for him, right? Because it's how he's operated before. So it's on brand, right? He's known for this, right? That's why it's the franchise player on your team. The other thing is, if we're talking about keeping our head game strong, this is why it's important to keep your head game strong. Like that's it in and of itself. Is so when you ask me, like, how would I respond? And when I think about certain situations in life, I can respond a certain way, not because I feel like I'm holier than thou or this, that, and the third, but it's because I have mental health privilege, right? When I say I have mental health privilege, there's certain people that are, maybe it's like have genetic dispositions, or like were born with depression, born with having to experience depression, or different types and levels of depressions or mental illnesses. Because there's a difference between mental illness and mental health. And that's why I'm trying to be very clear is I don't suffer from mental health issues, right? To that degree, to where it prevents me from being able to be productive and execute in life, where some people do. And it was not their fault. They didn't ask for it, nor did I ask for this. So it's not okay for me to try to say how I would operate with somebody who has to navigate something that it breaks my heart, right? Like, because it impedes their ability to progress in life, get out of bed, be able to be there for themselves, their friends, their family, and they have dreams and hopes and goals and all those other things, right? But the other piece is for those of us who have mental health privilege, that's where you have to really take care of your head game as much as you can, right? So that way you don't start to, because it's just because you have the privilege don't mean that it can't decline, right? Doesn't mean that you're not subject to everything, and then now you become you start to experience these different things. I'm not saying I don't experience anxiety, but I have enough mental health privilege to where I can say, okay, right, I can do this, and I can, control my brain, where some people don't have the ability to do that. And so for those of us who do, that's where you have to focus on keeping your head game strong with doing other things so you can respond to adversity or life challenges in a specific way. Does that make sense?
It does. It absolutely does. I still would have knocked the coach's head off, but I hear you. I get where you're coming from. It's just tough. Like, I want to, and I think everyone wants to put a label on it, like, oh, it's a CTE, right? Like, they want to be able to label it. But when he was talking, he was like, no, like, I'm handling it differently than a lot of people expect, because this is how I was raised. This is how my upbringing is different than your upbringing. Mauser said I would have got close to the coach and said, yo, you got to see me in the locker room after this, right? Like, and he's like making fun of him. Like, so you mean to tell me you would have said you got to see me in the locker room, and you would have sat there after this dude just told you to get the F out of here?
Yeah.
You know? And it wasn't money motivated. That's another thing. A lot of people are like, it was money motivated. The coach didn't want to put him in. They want to pay him that because he's a cancer to the team. And he's like, no, I didn't need the money. I wanted the Super Bowl. I got the money. It's not about that. It's tough, man. It's tough. You see, I try to watch, like, oh, how did Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp talk about it? How did First Take talk about it? And it was all painting him in this bad light, right? And he's denying it's mental health. Like, he was like, I have mental wealth. I'm not worried about my mental health. And it's like, well, that reaction to what was said doesn't display that, right? It doesn't display that you are able to react to adversity or anything with a mature mind, a professional mindset, knowing that at the end of the day, you're doing a job, right? There's multiple cameras on you waiting for you to mess up, to paint this negative picture of you. I don't feel like his mental health is intact. Then he's hanging out with Madonna and Kanye and all this weird shit, like, just weird. So weird. Why are you with Madonna? She's like 70.
I thought she was dead, but
Madonna?
I'm not sure.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no, it's just weird. So if we was questioning your mental then, I'm questioning your mental now, because that is weird to be.
Because Madonna, if I hang out with Madonna,
it's with Madonna, Kanye, Floyd Mayweather.
That video?
Yes.
Okay.
Demi Lovato, like, so many random weird people in a video. It was so weird.
MTV special.
Huh?
I said maybe MTV special.
I feel like Kanye is very calculated. So with him being with Kanye, I feel like he's setting something up. He's probably one of the most calculated people out on the planet. That's not a bad thing, but it's just like, he's just very, very calculated. And yeah, this is going to be interesting to see it pan out. If he gets on another team, what type of detriment, if any, if he causes anything somewhere else. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
So that's interesting too, because going back to like your brand, your because you said, right, and I want to challenge you on this. I don't believe in business versus personal. I don't think that exists. Where, you know how you say, like, it's, or not you, but just people in general say it's not personal, it's business. Regardless of what you say, your business infects my personal. So,
but say we're
just hear me. You gotta let me.
Okay, yeah. Land. I'm gonna let you land.
Hold up. Let me.
Let you land.
Listen. Because at the end of the day, it all affects. Yes, if we're saying business is just money, is that what we're saying? But I'm still affected in some way, shape, or form. And so it's always going to be personal because there's feelings, there's emotions, there's everything always tied up into something. Any business decision is going to affect somebody, anybody, everybody's personal in some way, shape, or form. And so it's like, you can't tell me, oh yeah, it's not personal, it's just business. What? Especially, here's why now. You know how many job places speak family on three, or like teams do that too, family on three, but the whole family environment in workplaces is mad toxic.
Who's saying family on three at work?
I just my mind. No, it's all mental privilege.
What you talking about? Bruh, I can't agree with that, only because say when our podcast blows up, right? We're getting deals and money starts getting involved, where we got to talk about how things get split and stuff, right? And we got to talk about contracts and blah, blah, blah. I bring you a contract to something that has to do with me, using something that has to do with me, right? And I'm like, yo, it's not personal, it's just business. We have to get this on the same accord. This is just to have a paper trail so that everything's lined up for accounting or whatever the case may be, right? I feel like that's perfectly fine. It's for the betterment of our brand that we're building together. So I'm bringing this to you because it's not personal. I don't want to put you on a contract. I trust your word. Your word is everything. I trust what you're saying, but we got to get this in writing. Someone could take that as a slight, right? Someone could be like, yo, we agreed on this. We had a conversation. We was pre-plotting and we came up with this idea together. Why are you bringing me a contract to lock in something that we both agreed upon? I'm like, it's not personal. It's just business.
See, I think that listen, bring the contracts. We signing, we good.
That's the same thing that could be slighted.
I don't think so. Here's why. Because if the person that feels, boom, trust versus suspicion, number one, those two fingers, but there's that. Trust versus suspicion. But the other piece is like, I understand the workings of business formality, and it's not an insecurity. But that doesn't mean that it's not business versus personal. And the reason why I'm saying that is because every single decision made is based off of those two factors. In the world, it's based off of business for somebody and it's personal for somebody else.
Yeah.
So there are two things that we can talk about. This coronavirus joint, we could talk about.
I Am Athlete podcast, business and personal. That's exactly why they broke up.
But I think it starts with how you define both. We personally see things different. I personally, as a whatever, see this business transaction this specific way, right? Like I think
we're personally affected.
Yeah, but everybody's going to be affected because you might be saying, hey man, it's not personal, just business, but it personally affects you though. So your business situation and transaction is going to positively affect you personally.
I think we're agreeing and we're saying different things.
Yes. And so I'm just saying, like, you can't pull apart the personal and business because it's the same thing. So Bree asked right in the chat, if you're focusing on your business, is it your job to speak? If you're focusing on your business, is it your job to speak on their personal too? No, that's where boundaries come into play. Now, not only are they able to, you listening to me, talking to me, listening?
I muted it. I was trying to pull up the chat so I could see as well.
I think that's where boundaries are. So when we say personal, that don't mean, I'm wide open and naked, right? Personal, I think just means me, affects me in minds because it's me. I don't have to be in business at work and all that and share all that, right? That's where boundaries, discernment, intuition, emotional intelligence, all that stuff comes into play, right? How you define all those things. But again, I think it goes back to the family environment in work. It's all, what up, fam? Hey, fam, we're fam, and da-da-da. But then the second something happens, I'm sorry, we got to let you go. I thought we was fam.
But that's why you don't do business with family.
Whoa, that's a whole nother podcast. That's false. What are we doing right now?
I mean, in a sense of like, if you feel like it can get to that point, then maybe you don't do business with family. If you feel like it can't be, you can't strictly have a business and those boundaries are going to get blurred, then no, you don't do business with family.
So you don't do business with people who doesn't have a standard of who you don't trust. I don't think family, who you don't trust. That's
you
two different things.
Trust your family.
What? Say it again.
You still not trust people that are family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think that you can't not do business with family, because I got family that I don't rock with. Watch the podcast. I don't care. Right? Like, and that just is what it is. But I think it comes down, because the thing is, like, one, my definition of family is not, it don't have nothing to do with relative. It has everything to do with relationship. And in relationship, we grow to, can I trust you? Can I rock with you? Is your word, like, your word is your word. You're woman of your word. Boom, cool. I know you're not going to slight me. I also know that I'm going to fill whatever gaps with trust versus suspicion. And so regardless of who you are, I don't care if we got blood connected or not. If you're not a person of integrity, I'm not rocking with you. And I think that's what it has to be, and not assuming that just because somebody's family, they're going to treat you a specific way. That's like saying just because somebody's your girl, she's not going to cheat on you, right? Just because somebody is your friend, they're not going to whatever, you know? So it's like, we're assuming way too much just because somebody has a specific title. And I think that you can do business with family as long as the people you're doing business with are who they are, right? They're people of integrity at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of.
Go ahead. Hit me back. Let's go.
I don't know, man. I think when you're in business with friends, people that you feel like you have this integrity level of, and trust and morals, right? There's going to be times where you can assume things are going to be handled from a friend standpoint, and you can assume things are going to be handled from a business standpoint. And I only say that because another podcast that I listened to, right? The Joe Budden podcast, him and his original crew broke up. And it literally came down to it being treated as business partners versus friends. And an example I'll give you is the way that they were to be paid was based off a percentage, right? Percentage of X, Y, and Z. So Budden wasn't giving them the numbers because he was like, you guys are on salary. I'm paying you. Everything's good. Like, money's flowing. You're getting paid more than enough. They're cool with what they're being paid, but they still want to see the numbers to make sure it's matching up. He's not providing the accounting. As their friend, they're like, oh, we're not tripping. He's not doing anything corny. He's not being slight. He's not slighting us. It's our friend. Like, I'm sure he's paying us well, but we still need to see the numbers, right? At the end of the day, it's still going back to that. And Joe Budden's like, are you guys questioning me? Like, you guys really think that I'm slighting you? You guys don't think I'm taking care of you? I'm paying you more than what we agreed upon. You know what I mean? Like, so then he's feeling questioned, and it becomes like the friendship being entwined with business. And I guess the point that I'm trying to land upon is like, you still, at the end of the day, owe me this contract that we agreed upon, right? It's still business. Yes, we're friends, but you still need to give me these numbers. You still need to provide me accounting. And Joe Budden's looking at it from a friendship standpoint. Like, you guys don't trust me. You guys can't take my word. That's where I struggle with friendship and business, seeing things like that play out, where a podcast that was this little as us growing, beginning, get to this point where they're signed with Spotify and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, well, I want to see the accountant now. I want to see the actual numbers. I want to make sure I'm getting paid what I'm worth and what we agreed upon. And it's like, bro, I've been taking care of you this whole time. You've never cared. I'm paying you more than what we agreed upon. Now you know what I mean? Like, it gets funny, and it is friends and business.
So I'm coming back.
Oh, geez. Okay, come back.
Listen, I think that when you decide and commit to have clear lines of communication in relationships, right? Like, I firmly believe there's levels to relationships. We talked about this: associates, friends, best friends, family, right? Like, you kind of move through that wave. But I think too that in that particular situation, something else popped up, right? So now are we talking about money? Cats start acting funny when money gets involved. But I will say one thing about you and I that we've done, even building up to this, is we've been clear, we've been transparent. Boom, this costs this, and even boom, here's the whatever. And there's nothing about it. So I would, yes, one assume, and also assume that we would still, but also be clear in saying, okay, here we are here at this level, out of contract or whatever the case may be is, but our foundation was already there before we already got somewhere else here, right? We communicate, and it could be because we're females, we're both working on healing, all this other stuff. And this is just for us to just, you know what I'm saying, rock out. And I don't think a lot of people allow money to get in the way of relationships. So then the question is like where, how strong was the relationship beforehand? Yeah. Then there's other parts, right, where it's like when you talk about it not being personal and him feeling slighted. My question is, I wonder, are they still friends?
No,
they're not. So like, and that's sad to me. Like, oh, you're not friends no more. Like, why are you not friends? Like, I would hate if it's gonna come down to us not being friends anymore because this podcast, fuck this podcast. Like, it's not worth it to me. You know what I'm saying? And the other part is we rock like this off of Facebook. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's where every group gets to as well, because stuff happens. You lose lines of communication. It's a bug. And so I think there's ways to prevent it. And I think that here's the other piece too. White families have proven that this is not true. We in Black and brown communities are still trying to figure that piece out. We've had to struggle with money in different ways than white communities and stuff have. Why do you think there are the Fords, the Rockefellers, all these big, those are family names. Them ain't just fun pet nicknames. That's a family passed down from a family through a trust. Like them cats did things specific way. So it's like they've proven that you can, but I also don't know that they have the same kind of culture and relationship vibe that we do in Black and brown communities as well. So I would love to prove it wrong, that you can mix business and family and friends and all that. And I think that's the pinnacle of being healthy, right? Having healthy relationships. Do you think
those families, the Rockefellers, the Fords, are actually really running their businesses? Or do you think they're paying people to do that and they're just getting royalties? They're getting paid
100%. Yeah.
So it don't matter. They're not doing business and family. They're getting paid just to get paid off that name alone.
At this point, initially, right at this point, as a CEO, if they're
different, that was a different time. That was a different time. You had to go into business with your family and everyone worked and did this together. And it was different. Going into business now with your family, where I think there's a little bit more pieces added to it than there were back then when families were starting businesses.
Well, here's another question. If I can't trust my family, well, whoever fits into that category, who can I trust? That's hella sad. If I can't trust you, if I can't trust you to build a business and a life with, why would I trust a stranger? That's our problem. That's the problem, is we run to be, and we trust other cats. We do this and that. And especially, right, like, I'm not trying to make this a race thing either, but like, we trust white people like that. Sometimes, depending on the business in which you're operating in, because we've also been trained conditionally to do that as well.
Yes.
So if a Black person is like, okay, boom, I'm doing woo, 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 there's a whole nother package, stigma, all of that stuff to it. But it really just boils down to, like, if I can't trust you,
you feel safer going to business with a white person than you would.
Because we were trained to do that.
Exactly.
That's the emotional, psychological play on us. But again, if I can't trust my family and I got family I don't trust, right? Like, if I can't trust them, who can I trust? I thought you was frozen. You just were thinking.
No, sorry. No, I was reading the comments. I think, it's tough. It's tough to see things like that play out in your face, where you see people mixing friends in business, and then you see it work out. Like it's just awkward, right? It's weird to see. It's weird to see the reasons behind the fallouts when it's like, damn, y'all's been rocking for what? And this is what you're falling out over? Like, yeah, it's weird. It's interesting. And I mean, it's obviously a thing. It's a thing that people use as, I don't want to say a cop out, but a way to provide comfort for them. Like, it's comfortable for me to say it this way because I love you, I still rock with you, but I got to do this to make sure I'm good at the end of the day. And that's just what it boils down to. Yes. And if the other person doesn't, you know, either appreciate it, doesn't rock with it, doesn't feel the same, and that's where the turmoil kicks in.
So one, was it even real before? Think about how, like, think of two pieces. You and I had to work on our relationship to even be here having conversations in front of people.
Absolutely.
Right? In the dark, right? Like, work on our relationship. And obviously it's thorough, it's authentic. Like, this ain't no show, right? And it's mutually beneficial on all sides. The other thing is, like, how real were those relationships beforehand? For some people, were some people trying to get into certain relationships and do certain things because they had ulterior motives, right? Like, obviously these are certain things you just do and don't know. And then how committed are people to having healthy anything? And I think too, the other part is, I remember listening to, I talked about when I saw Pretty V and B Simone, and they were talking, one of the people in the crowd, they was like, how you guys work together as friends? And it was in Tacoma too. She was she Pretty V said, and I say this all the time now, she was like, friends get invoices too. I was like, stealing it. Because the thing is, just because I am a businesswoman doesn't mean that, like, and where you're my sister, I'm not going to try to, or you're a businesswoman, I'm not going to try to hire you off of, hey, can I get the hookup? Can I get the family? Like, that's disrespectful to you. Cause I'm not asking nobody else that, you know what I'm saying? And it's almost disrespectful to think that just because you see me hitting it.
I didn't know if you was preaching, you was stamping. I didn't know what was going on, but okay, sorry.
It's disrespectful to you. And so I think that there needs to be, again, clear communication, a level of respect and understanding, and don't go into business with cats who don't understand business. That's the other piece.
Yeah.
Somebody who understands business is gonna, so you bring me a contract, I get it. I'm not sweating nothing because I understand business. But if you're bringing things to the table with people who don't even know how to carry the weight of whatever it is, yes, what's going to pop up? Insecurities.
Yeah. And that's where it's not personal, it's business comes into play. Yes. I fuck with you. You're my family. I love you, but I have to do this. This has to be put into place so that I can make sure I don't get effed over. I can make sure what is rightfully mine stays rightfully mine, and what's rightfully yours stays rightfully yours. This is just a precaution, what businesses do.
So it makes me think of, what do you think about prenups? And we can talk about that a whole nother, right? Because that's a whole nother.
I don't like prenups. I don't know. But then I feel like if I was rich, I might like them.
So I might be like,
I ain't got no assets right now that anyone can take. So yeah, I'm gonna sign the prenup. No, I mean, I'm not gonna sign the prenup. But if I did have assets, I'm like, hold on. I don't know. This might be a conversation that you think about, but
yep, because business and personal, I just got to protect me. Then it's like, wait, why are we even getting married if you think that? Because stuff happens.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Union got a prenup versus Dwayne.
Really?
That's one of the sexiest couples out there. Yeah.
And he had a baby on her. She's stupid for that.
No, pause. You will not. You will not.
Not him having a baby on her and her having the prenup. Jeez. I mean, I get it, but
leave her alone. Listen, you know,
you could have left, girl, if you had the prenup, because he ain't getting nothing.
Why? Well, she's in love. Like, that's her man's. People stick through.
You're right. I don't know about sticking through a baby, but
But what if it just was sex one time and boom, there came a baby?
Sorry for you. Sex has consequences when you don't use a rubber. Who says this? There are consequences to your actions. Who says that?
Your mama.
Sugar booger, yes.
Your mama. Listen though, but that's also a trigger for you. Yeah. So yeah,
absolutely.
Listen. But for her, but some people do it. I'm sitting up here, I'm watching A Million Little Things crying.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord, and Catherine, girl, I'm like, Catherine, I'm not as strong as you. I don't have it, Catherine. And Catherine just,
yeah.
And so here's the thing is like, is that love? Like, that's love. Like, you must be in love. So it's just another level of love, I guess, that says, okay, we're going to get through.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe
and I can't say
some people are more boo-boo the food than me.
Does it make them boo-boo the food, or just like, I believe in us?
So are you saying I'm not that healed yet to make that answer. I'm not that healed yet.
That's it.
That answer, girl.
Yeah. There's certain things I'm not healed enough to talk about. I feel you. And there's certain things that I don't understand at that level either, because I'm watching her and I'm like, Catherine, that's a level of love I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't. Right. So if it's Gab, like, I don't know. And then how can you really judge getting a prenup before?
You're right. I'm honestly just making jokes. They were apparently separated on a break when the baby happened. So it's all jokes. That's their personal situation. What works for them works for them. I am not one to judge no one's personal situation, but it is just, if it was me, no siree.
So do we need a prenup for this podcast?
It's all you will receive a contract in your email following this episode.
So you get the PDF. I sent the link in the chat. So
absolutely.
But I get it though, right? I get it. So,
and I wouldn't feel no type of way if that were to be a thing. Like, yo, we're starting something.
And the question is, back to whoever, why should you? Because this is how businesses are ran.
I'm respected.
This is the problem though. In certain facets, is people don't understand that this is how it's like for me, right? If I'm coaching somebody, I'm like, you have to have a personal MVP, a personal mission, vision, and purpose. You have to have one. All businesses have a mission, vision, and purpose. That's how they run their life. Your MVP is a part of your franchise. So I do things according to my MVP. And I think that if you understand how certain things operate, you're not going to feel any type of way. You're going to go according to it.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's how businesses operate. Like, this is it. So there shouldn't even be me taking it emotionally personal. So, oh, don't take it personal. Like, some things need to be taken personal so you can figure out which player just got triggered. Right? And the other things are like, oh, that don't have nothing to do with me. It has to do with the situation.
Agreed. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
And so I don't know if we really talked about keeping your head game strong. So we might have to part 2 this.
Yeah. It was we went down a rabbit hole, but it was cool. It was cool. I think it was part 2 for sure. Part 2 for sure.
Yeah, head game strong, part 2.
I've been drinking. I don't think you really touched your wine tonight.
Nah, the whole can.
Grams triggered you?
No, the can is gone. Grandma, this is for you, girl. Love you, boo.
Oh man.
So there's that. All right, man. We're conversation is there. So what do we land on? Business and personal, same or different?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're still flying at an altitude of 3,000 miles in the air. You know, we're still flowing. Episode 2 is where we're gonna land. But no, I think we covered a lot of cool topics. Especially talking about the business and personal was definitely good, because listening to these pods that are ending with friends and hearing that constantly be said, it's like, dang, like you just become like okay with that answer, when you're not personally affected, right? It's like, yeah, it's just business and personal. If you're not personally affected by that, you accept it.
Yeah.
But when you deeply look into the situation, it's like, it's not business and personal. It's this person isn't comfortable and is insecure in this space. That's why this is even a thing. Yeah. So yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
It makes
perfect sense. In what business is? Business is logistics. It's logistics and strategy of how to make money. Here's the strategy. These are the logistics, right? And so those are things that like people, like those are just, it's hard things, numbers. You can't quantify my emotions, right? It's like qualitative versus
You're paused. You're pausing.
Quantitative data, like verbal expressions of whatever it is, facts, right? Like science is real. When, oh, can you hear me?
You're pausing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Oh man. So I think that's it too. It's just being able to clarify and clear up what are we doing, why are we doing it, and how do we, I mean, shoot, think about Bill and Melinda Gates. Them cats just got divorced after sending thousands of kids from Tacoma to college.
The Gates fund, them Gates grants, girl. Man.
Listen. So anyways, man, I think that what's that saying, to each their own?
Yes.
But I want to have healthy, open dialogue about whatever the whole way through, right? Business is just another form of relationship.
Agreed.
Right? People say marriage is a business. Marriage is a business. It's contractual with the state, right? Like, oh, my bad, baby. It ain't personal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's that, y'all. Man, that was a lot. We done went in on this. So part 2 of head game strong, because it is
coming up soon, you guys. Coming
next week. Oh man. All right, y'all. Coach Rees, I'm out.
Make
sure to like, follow, share, subscribe. You're gonna see us on all platforms. Get this podcast: Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. You gotta like it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like it. You gotta share it. Don't just be like, oh my God. Like, tell us what's up. Hit it, slide in the DMs. Tell us what's good. Leave a comment. We're here for it. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to hear us talk about something, let us know. And if you want to tap in, look, just talk to me nice though, because I'm sensitive, baby.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.